season 14 has been, I have liked season 14 so far. I think it's good to see this dynamic between Kyle and Dorit. Like, I've been waiting for a Kyle versus Dorit season. I'm glad that it looks like we're gonna get it all season. Dorit and Kyle, specifically in the episode 4, they clash at dinner, rehashing years of grievances between their friendships, including a 6-month fallout over a joke and Kyle shading Dorit's business. Dorit calls Cal a shitty friend, but they later apologize and they try to reconcile a little bit. What do you think about Dorit and Kyle right now as what we see, Thomas?
Yeah. So great question to start off. I think what we're seeing is the fans influencing the show. And I think because there was a interview that Dorit had did right after season 13 where they asked her if she saw the cries from the fans asking her to return to her former self. And I think she came on the show, what is that, season 7 or something. And they were like, where was Dorit that was getting into it with all the girls who didn't, kind of fall in line? And she said that she heard the fans and, we'll see what happens next season. So I think that we're starting to see a little bit of them wanting to break course with also the removal of Teddy, the removal of Lisa Rinna, that Fox Force 5 being dismantled, you starting to see like, no, I have to really show up for work, so right. That's what we're starting to see. As far as that dynamic is concerned, this is the first time that I see a fall from grace from Kyle as an OG. I think she is grasping for straws to try to have something to stand on in relation to an argument with Dorit. If she's not going to hold the same grudge against Erica because she might be potentially scared of her, then there's no reason to try to attack Dorit as if Dorit's not going to give it back to you. Dorit's long-windedness does not play in her favor at the first part of this episode and in this dinner. It drags on for far too long for me, and it doesn't seem as if either of them are getting to the point, right? Kyle opened up the floor at the end of that last episode saying, hey, I don't want things to be awkward between us. I kind of want to get a moment to talk. And the Dorit kind of took that as a moment to like shoot daggers, Right. And so I think they weren't on the equal fighting battlefield at that moment. I think one showed up to the gunfight with the knife, and the other one came up ready to blow the other's head off.
Ricky, any thoughts on Kyle and Dorit?
Yeah, I think what happens with them is like a microscope of friendship in general, where people expect some sort of like blind loyalty, or you can't have a public opinion about me that I'm not trying to put out by myself. And I think that Kyle should have just said, I didn't like the shit you said, and I didn't see it for you. And that's just what it was. You pissed me off. I was mad at you. I didn't see it for you. But I feel like they're both making it this like grandiose thing. And I'm waiting for them to tell me like what happened that you guys are so mad at each other. And I feel like what they're saying doesn't add up to like the vitriol. So it's annoying to me. Like I get it. I get Dorit. Like you got mad at me. You stopped talking to me. And instead of you just saying that, you're saying all of this stuff that doesn't make sense, sis. Like, can we move on? I love you, sister. Kisses and hugs. Let's move forward. Kyle's just, but also, I feel like to Thomas's point, Kyle just really aggravates me with the fakeness. Like, she just really aggravates me with the aloof. I don't really know what's going on. I'm mad at you, but I'm not. Like, girl, what's happening? What's going on? Are you okay? So I feel like maybe that's the culture of them. It's different from our culture and how we handle conflict, but it's like really annoying to me. Like, I hate talking around the elephant in the room. What are you mad about?
Right.
It makes something they're not telling us. You know what I mean?
And I also just say really quickly that I also think that dredging up Teddy's name is just, I'm so sick of it. And I don't know if it's a ploy to get her back on the show in the way in which Candy brought Kenya onto the season finale of Real Housewives because Fancy did that journey. But I don't think that we need to be bringing Teddy's name up for whatever reason. We know she's thirsty for the cameras. She wants this divorce to play out in front of it. They're not bringing you back, sis. So I want them not to continue to keep discussing her. And Kyle to try to say that Dorit didn't defend Teddy, which is the reason why she's upset with her. No, ma'am. That's not becoming of an OG. I'm so sorry.
Right. Also, no shade. You're making on-season, on-camera stuff. You're mad about something that literally does not even have to do with someone that's on this cast. Why are we even bringing this up? No shade. Like, leave Teddy in Teddy world, in Teddy land.
I understand that, and I received that. But what did I do to you? Let's talk about that.
Like, Teddy's not on the show to bring up this grievance. So what are we talking about here? Why are you bringing up what? Like, even I feel like even producers like, hey, Kyle, I know this. I know this is your 14th season, Mama, but dust off those, honey.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Anyways, Garcelle wanted to stand right next to Kyle. I find this. I love my mother, but I find this alliance with Kyle, who she felt the same way about, just how she feels about Dorit, very convenient and not real when it comes to Garcelle and Kyle. I feel like Garcelle is trying to just connect with Kyle because I feel like it's easy for her to clearly end Dorit with this little alliance with Kyle. But you literally did not give a fuck about Kyle or like Kyle. Just last season, you had a lunch with her to let her know that she's basically racist and has ignorant views, and you told her that, and you think the same about Dorit. So I find it weird that she's somehow wanting to have a relationship with Kyle, but still being so on top of Dorit because Dorit is ignorant, you know? I find that, like, how does Kyle get a pass, but Dorit, you're still on top of Dorit? Anyways,
I think, and just to answer that question, I think it's a key detail that's missing from there is that when Garcelle expressed grievances to the group about how she didn't feel comfortable bringing her kids around, Dorit was the one that said, is this still an issue? Made it seem as if like there was a statute of limitation for how she should feel in relation to her son. And no one else did that, right? But how are we supposed to tell Dorit that she should immediately move on from a fake robbery?
Like that.
You can't tell a mother that she should get over what happened to her child, and she's still trying to show up in this group, and she's still trying to be a part of it. And it's not like she's not trying. It's not like she's like, oh, F these bees, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. I'm still trying. I'm trying to extend the olive branch. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. Erica, I'm saying that it was your meds and you trying to balance your alcohol. I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt, knowing that you're not in your right state of mind. But Dorit's like, girl, get over it.
Right.
No.
And
there's
also, I feel like from Garcelle being on the show, there's always been an undercurrent of these girls, whether passive aggressively, nice, nastily, coming against Garcelle, whether it's not defending her or leaving her out to dry. She started to have allies further into her, relationship on the show, but it didn't start out that way. And so, and of that, and I hate to bring it here, but I will, just because it's on here, that undercurrent of like racism and hostility, passive aggressive hostility that she experienced on the show. I feel like Dorit was the mouthpiece for it. So I'm gonna whack her every chance I get. I would never let that. Me personally. Yeah.
Right.
Remember when Dorit screamed at Garcelle at the reunion and said, Garcelle, let me talk. And Garcelle was like, go ahead. And it was like a episode on not a interview later. She was like, she will never yell at me like that again. Dorit would have never raised her voice to any of the other girls. So I just think it is a thing with Dorit. I think that we can't give Dorit a pass because
I want her to stop playing, like end her. You know what I'm saying? Like, like if you're gonna whack her, whack her. Like,
I feel like the people attacking Garcelle is not because of what we think it is. They love an opportunity to dogpile on Garcelle.
They did want an opportunity to get Garcelle, but I will say that Garcelle is starting to punch down now, and it's starting to look a certain way when Dorit's not acknowledging you and you're punching down on her in confessionals. You're trying to say, "Oh, why aren't you?" I'm pretty sure you how to get this on later in the show, but when you're asking, oh, well, we want to get to know Bose. Why are you hogging up all Bose? And, you're trying to create this relationship. But I'm also not stupid to not think that, Dorit, you had a problem with the only black girl in your cast and now this new black girl because you have no
now you want to be besties. Right.
Now you're trying to get close for her. And it's convenient that Bose is a black woman. So now you can say, I'm not racist or I'm not prejudiced because
we have to say those things because those things are literally what's playing out on camera.
Is ahead of that. Like, I know she's racist and I'm not going to take my foot off her neck. I don't care what y'all say. And I think that's her position. Go ahead, Fancy.
Very, 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 very interesting. Well, Garcelle accuses Dorit of having insincere apologies, leading to another heated exchange between them because Dorit's like, "Excuse me?" And she's like, "Yeah, I don't really think that you know how to say sorry." And Dorit's like, "Well, I kind of expect you to feel that way about me." And Garcelle is basically like, "Well, I'm glad that we are in the same page when it comes to that." Dorit claims that Garcelle dislikes her, ending their argument with a lingering tension between the both. Um, I think again, I think that at this reunion, we need to emphasize Dorit versus Garcelle and let's put it to rest. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, if both women come back next season, I don't really care to see this going on. So at this reunion, let's have this big blowout. Let's tell each other what we really need to tell each other and how we really feel about each other and leave it on the floor, whatever it is. And Garcelle, stop being so scared. I saw an interview that Garcelle did where she felt like being the first black housewife on Beverly Hills was hard for her specifically because she didn't know how to present herself at first. Being the first and only at the time was hard because it's like, damn, like I'm the only one, so I have to represent so many women and I'm only myself and I might not represent all of them. So she felt that there were certain situations where she didn't react authentically because she kept thinking of her representation on this show and what that meant. So I want her to step out of that and I want her to really be like, just legitimately be yourself. And if
But
you
she's doing
feel,
that now, and they dragging her for it.
and because she took too long, it's 5 seasons in. You know
If
what
you
I'm
want
saying?
to
Like,
act as a Black Housewives, go on Ultimate Girls Trip and see how Kenya got Ramona together. What's her name? Kenya was not playing with them. Calm
playing
down.
Kenya
And I
was
don't see
not
it
playing with them.
anymore, but she did. I don't see it for her, but
At
she did.
all.
She
But
got she got the Ramona.
You never give her a 10, but she ate
Yeah,
that one.
I could never give you a ticket. I don't like
Or an 8.
it.
No, but I just want to see Garcelle kind of like have her, you know, her like ending a girl moment. I feel like she always keeps it very surface. We kind of saw it with Erica a little bit last season when she was like, "Well, you don't need my help making yourself look crazy," and she will kind of go at it. But I want to see her end the bitch. Erica expresses concern of Dorit's emotional state, believing she's scared but unwilling to admit it. Dorit leans into Erica for support. I see Erica playing the fence a lot this season between Dorit and Kyle. Do you think that she's gonna be able to play this fence all season, or do you think that it's gonna come to a certain point where like she has to really pick a side?
I see what you're saying about the Erica thing, because I noticed it on the after show. And when she would have a certain opinion, and then Kyle would say something different, and then she would say, "Oh, what?" I was like, "I'm not really feeling that, Miss Girardi, Miss Jane, whatever you go by these days." So I don't know if she's going to be able to straddle that fence at the reunion, but I will say that I think her allegiance lies with Kyle more than Dorit. So if there is a side to be chosen, she'll choose Kyle's.
You think the same thing, Ricky?
I do.
I think it's crazy though because I feel like I wish that Erica was doing more of an effort to bring them together. Like I feel like because you guys are part of this Fox Force 5, whatever it was back then, and you guys were supposed to be like the three besties that you, what?
Go ahead. You do that every time.
Oh my god. So yeah, so me thinking that they were so close, I thought that Erica was gonna be on some y'all fix it. Like y'all not y'all, I'm gonna lock y'all into this room and y'all are not going to like walk out of here until y'all fix it. And I feel like when it comes to even them trying to fix it, she's very playing the fence and not really getting into it. Like she's really just letting them have their moment and whatever that is and however that comes out. I find that interesting when it
I
comes
think
to
because
Erica.
she had that takedown season that you mentioned earlier in the show, I think she's kind of like, listen, everybody needs their moment. So if this is the moment where these two bitches fall out, then this is where this moment where these two bitches fall out. Because
She specifically wants that.
Yeah, when I was hung out to dry, no one saved me. No one sent me a lifeboat or a rafter or pulled me in from to the shore. So I'm gonna let you bitches run this shit ragged, which is why she had no problem getting up on that BravoCon stage and saying that the Dorit and PK's relationship would be over next. Which she was. I mean, she might need to. I might need her to be my palm because
Right.
the girl was spot on. You hear me? Clock that.
That was a gag, and then you understand why Dorit was so pissed because it's like, bitch, that wasn't supposed to be out yet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's my next season storyline, and you over here soft launching it at BravoCon when the current season's not even over yet. Girl, pump the brakes. So
she might know the real tea behind that robbery. That's why she's saying that.
That's what I really want to know. Because everybody trying to make Garcelle seem like the bad person for at least saying that, like, I didn't know about the jewelry until like Dorit still had hers after the robbery. And that is a very regular observation, right? You're saying that they stole bags from you that you didn't like anymore. Well, how would you know unless someone coordinated with the robbers to take specific items? What robbery leaves your phone at the gate? Like, let's just think about it. Like, this is television, yes. So there is an era of kind of like mystique and
like
stuff
anything
around
can
it.
happen.
Yeah, but let's be grounded in the reality of it all. Mm-hmm. That if someone is truly robbing you, they're not giving a flying F what they're taking, who they're shooting, they're not giving you that. So it was weird that a lot of viewers probably had the same thought of Garcelle, like, hold on, this isn't adding up. Right. Yeah. And so how are we supposed to believe this to be true? And so with PK also being gone for months at a time, like, who's married and you're living overseas for half of the year? Like, BFFR, like, it was going to come out at some point. Right. So let's just be I hate that they had to be forced into doing so, because even the sit down that Dorit had with PK and saying they're not going to talk 5 times a day came off contrived to me. So I don't know what to make of it all with them. But I will say that Dorit has someone's foot on her neck, and she is doing anything to get it off.
Well, I don't know if you guys heard this, but on Carlos King's podcast, he said that he has heard from a close source that Dorit had a meeting with Lisa Rinna right before the season started, and that Lisa Rinna told her, listen, like, if you're going to come back to the show, you have to do a gun blazing because you're on the chopping block, and you know that. And supposedly that's the reason why Dorit went to talk to Lisa Rinna, because she heard that she was on the chopping block and she wanted advice. And Lisa Rinna told her the only way to not get yourself on the chopping block is to literally leave it on the floor. Which is why you see Dorit going so hard specifically on Kyle, which she knows the fans have been wanting her to attack. And then also, which is why Kyle has that reaction towards her at the beginning of the season where she's like, I don't even recognize you right now. Like, why are you turning up so much? Like, did I miss the memo that we spoke about this? Is because Dorit was allegedly about to get fired or even demoted to a friend of this season. Instead, she's telling everybody that she comes into contact that PK is an alcoholic and deranged and needs rehab, and that, and going crazy about Kyle. So when you think about that, it does make an interesting point to the fact that maybe everything is contrived, and this is just because I know that this is what will make a good season. But let's see how it plays out when it comes to Beverly Hills Honey. At the end of the episode, we saw that Sutton did a little ritual between all of the girls, trying to create a sisterhood moment. Some of the girls was not really feeling it. I feel like Sutton, she takes too long to get to like her little moments that she's trying to have, and she does her little quirkiness, and like, I'm like, girl, speak. She like, have y'all noticed that? Have y'all noticed that? She'll be like,
Wait, do it again. Do it again.
I'm done.
Yo, she'll literally be like, I have something to tell you guys. And they're all like, can you talk?
Yo, I hate people who take a long time to tell a story. Please help.
But like, she has reactions to her reactions. She's having physical reactions to what she's saying in her head. and then like it's stopping her dialogue, and everybody's just like, what is going on? Anyways, so they're all mocking her, having, and she's like, I wrote this from the heart, so I would hope that you guys will pay attention to it. And she bonds them with a little robe, and she has this, says this little cute little friendship thing. Anyways, we'll see how this plays out in Beverly Hills. But moving on to the next coast,
Well,
Potomac.
before I just want to touch on that certain thing because you were spot on with that when it comes to her reactions. I think she will never be a top tier reader because if she digests the information, then she gags herself a little bit and then responds. You can never have that type of delayed reaction. You have to get back to the girls immediately. And I will say there was something in the after show that I had watched that I think that Bose is really smart. And I love how she analyzes the girls and she's able to just kind of sit back and be an objective person and just see how everyone's role is and what it looks like in the group. And there's something to be said about Sutton. I think she's trying to purport herself to be more important when, ma'am, like you're like the 5th longest serving housewife on the show at this point, you know? So, and like the southernness and stuff like that doesn't really bode well in Beverly Hills in the way in which it probably would work in Dallas.
Definitely gives Blanche Devereaux.
Yeah, like, and I love Sutton. I love Sutton. I do miss the Sutton that was. I hope she's still taking her testosterone hormones because that was when she was giving it to the girls. I need her back on those meds because she like when she was taking her hormones, she was giving it. Let the mouse go, like all of that she was like going like she had it. And there was something promising there, but I'm starting to see her fall a little flat. And the fact that even in the after show, she got mad at Garcelle and Jennifer Tilly because she was talking about how no one in the group take her seriously. And she was really coming from the heart with that moment. And it was like, sis, you bound our wrists together with a cheap ass satin ribbon that you found from someone's Joanne's fabric. We're supposed to say that we're sisters forever because of this moment. BFFR. Yeah. Like, I love something, but she tries too hard.
Like, this is reality television. She was trying to have a fictional scripted moment. Like, calm down, Miss Thing. Like, when
she said name them.
Wow, Sutton wanted from that. You remember when the trailer came out for this season and you saw how they opened the trailer with that moment, like of Sutton reading her message and bonding them, and they made it super dramatic. What Sutton wanted from that moment was how they edited in the trailer. But then we saw it play out and it didn't happen like that. That's literally what Sutton wanted. So they gave it to you, honey. Kudos to you. Yeah, no, Sutton is crazy. I think that Sutton wants to make it seem like she's mother, but again, you're not mother. Remember, like you've only been here less than you were supposed to come in with Garcelle and couldn't even get your kids to sign on to film, so you had to get demoted. No shade. So like we remember you're still one of the kind of like the newbies. No shade. So but I do think that when new women are introduced to the group, she wants to kind of like, hey, like I'm one of the ones that you have to come and kiss the ring. So I see that for sure.